So good morning children. I hope you all are fine. And in the last period we were talking about Sangam age. I have given you introduction of the chapter, and today we'll be beginning with the same page children, because this we need to do line by line so that there can be a better understanding. I believe, meaning all of you will be able to recall what is the meaning of Sangam, and you will be writing it down just now. I'll giving you a fraction of a second so that you can write what is the meaning of the Sangam. I gave you this as a recap also. So why I am doing it again and again? Because these questions are your short answer questions. I am not giving you for them to write in your notebook, but they are important. Now you have given two assessment, proper assessment, to you understand. These recall questions or the short answer questions, they are very important. Important in the sense like you cannot afford to lose these 1 or 2 marks. So Sangam means confluence, meeting, gathering. When I was talking to you in the last period, then I showed you videos of Cholchir, Pandya, the dynasties of South India, how these two places of India are different. Like if I talk about South Indian movies and North Indian movies, I think you can better understand what is the divide. Even the kind of names they keep, that also they are different. So it's not that I'm not trying to demean something or what, but there is a cultural difference. It's not easy to understand what was happening that side, and side by side. I have discussed this with you in the first video in the last period, that not much attention has been given to these dynasties. Rather, the South Indian history doesn't have that much space, occupy that much space in the books of the history as the history of Northern India. So some kind of stability treatment has happened, but let's come over it and know better them about it. So this chapter deals with Sangam literature and Sangam age. Age means period. Sangam period, when we talk about, then we refer to the period, time period when this literature was created. So now pick up your pencils. We are on page 51 as per the whole book. In new book you have to see what is the page number, and I have already told you underlining with pen is not allowed. We need to take care of everything. Your school, you belong to a school which believes in raising consciousness. So everything which is useful for you as life and has to be respected. So let's begin with proper underlining today. So second line, underline. The word Sangam is the Tamil form of Sanskrit Sang, which means association. You can recall children very clearly. We did in the chapter of Buddhist, and we had a proper heading over there which dealt with Buddhist Sangha. So from Sangha we distort, rather in English we call it, otherwise it's Sang. And Sang is very, this word you are familiar with kind of. So keep underlining. Thus the Sangam age refers to the period where bulk of Tamil literature was composed by a body of Tamil scholars, poets in 3 successive literary gatherings called Sangam, successive one after the other. I have also told you about this thing, that there were 3 Sangam, and they say that in first Sangams even gods came and attended. So Sangam means confluence, meeting, refers to the gatherings of poets and bards. Now poets, you understand who are bards. Underline this word first. In English literature you might have come across this word. They were the people, children, who used to sing in the praise of the kings, and kings love flattery, and they used to sing songs in the praise of their kings. And not all kings are like that, like you have illustrious kings. If we talk about North Indian kings, I will give you example Harshavardhan, or if I talk about Prithviraj Chauhan. In Hindi also you might have heard about the reference to the creation book Prithviraj Raso, which was written by Chand Bardai, who was very famous, or rather very good friend of Prithviraj Chauhan. So Chand Bardai was not a bard, but yes, like he wrote in the glory of his friend. So bards are those people, you can write down, who sing, they used to be there in the courts, who sing songs, who enact also in the glory of their kings, and kings used to give them gifts, presents, and that's how they used to survive. So these took place between 1st century BC and 2nd century AD in the kingdom of Panch. And who are Panch? We are talking about a dynasty. So you covered at least 2-3 short answer questions over here in the first paragraph. And I believe you will be able to make out, you don't have to write them separately. If I ask you what is the meaning of the Sangam, when did they happen, in which, under which kingdom they happen, dynasty they happened, you know the answers. Then third line of the second paragraph, the second Sangam, attended by several poets, produced a large mass of literature. Meaning thereby, those who came over there, they wrote over there, they created. But out of that, bulk of literature, only one, and underline the name which I am going to read, only Tolakapiyam. And you can be asked this question, so it is very important. So Tolakapiyam by Tolakapipar, the oldest book of Tamil grammar. You remember last time I showed you a video that it is, they say that Tamil is the oldest surviving language of India, as it is believed that Aryans came from Central Asia, and still Tamil is in use. And I must say, if we compare, the larger amount of people are speaking in Tamil if we compare with Sanskrit. So, mind you, I think you remember, you are doing Sanskrit right from the beginning. Which language is known as scientific? The one which has grammar. That's how we say that most of the, not only we say that, it's a proven fact, most of the language of this present world, they have derived from Sanskrit only. But Tamil also has a grammar. So Tamil, this language is scientific. If something, there are rules. When you do direct, indirect in English, when you do active, passive, then there are rules which you follow. Even sentence making, there are rules, what will come when. So Tamil also has a grammar. So this Tolakapiyam, written by Tolakapipar, and what is it? It is the oldest book of Tamil grammar. If somebody like this question is asked, then you have the answer right now. So underline it carefully. Has survived. Third Sangam, attended by many poets, produced vast literature of which only fraction, a very small portion, has survived. It is this fraction which constitutes the extant body of Sangam literature. So what was written in the later period, that we come to know as in the third Sangam. And obviously we are talking about those three illustrious dynasties, Cher, Pandya and Chol, which ruled over there in South India. But as in North India, all these people were always busy in fighting with each other. This feeling was missing somewhere or the other, that they are one, they are part of one country only. And the same thing we read about North India also, when we were doing about Chanakya and Chandragupta. Then we read the same thing, that he was the first one who came up with such a vast country. But this infighting children, you might still, you're not that big, I would say, but you still understand that it's not there that all parts of India, they are living in, all people living in harmony. Somebody, or political leaders, or some people, they are at loggerheads all the time. So there has to be this sense of unity, integrity, that we are one. We are part of one country. We are Indian. We are not divided in, these parts. Yes, I agree. You will also agree with this fact that India is such a big country that if you live in Kanyakumari and you think about Jammu and Kashmir at the same time, then you cannot imagine. There's no comparison, so to speak. They are so different. They are as different as chalk and cheese. But even if we are different in weather, climate, food habits, this, that, but we belong to the same country. We are Indians. We don't have to forget that. So in next video, we'll talk about extension. Thank you.